Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first edition of the Rob Carney podcast. Today we have our guest, Cliff Aguirre. Cliff is a hypnotist, author, and public speaker. Cliff is the proprietor of Mind Balance Hypnosis in Norwell, Massachusetts. He's a certified hypnotist with the National Guild of Hypnotists, and in his practice, he helps clients on the topics of anxiety, trauma, self-esteem, healthy eating, smoking cessation, and much more. He is also a certified life coach and certified in grief and bereavement counseling. And as an author and public speaker, Cliff is known for his expertise in the topics of hypnosis and subconscious healing, life after death, spiritual encounters, past life regression, and rediscovering happiness. So Cliff has 3 books on Amazon, the first being Journey Back, The Amazing Memories of Individuals Through Past Life Regression, Happiness, Tragedy, and Healing. The second being The Death Transition, The Process of Passing Over, which is now in its second edition, which was originally published in 1984. And Encounters with the Other Side, which was published in 2016. And coming out this year, 2019, Cliff will have a 4th book called Navigating Life and a 5th book for parents who have lost their children in death. And so Cliff also has a couple podcasts, Journey Back, then also Navigating Life, which I was recently featured on myself. And we had a great conversation last time, and now we're here to learn a bit more about Cliff. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Cliff Aguirre to the podcast. Cliff, welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me.
So Cliff, there's been a lot that I've been learning since we first met many months ago. So can you tell everyone what hypnotherapy is? Because I had a vague idea before I met you, but since I met you, it's really kind of changed my perspective, and also I've really learned how powerful it is. So I'd love for you to share what hypnotherapy is and how it works.
Well, we have different levels to our mind and our awareness and everything. We have the level where we look at our everyday life and we, see where we're sitting at the desk that I'm at, or looking at you on the camera, which the audience can't see and everything. But then there's this other stuff that's really deep into our mind. And these are things that we've collected since we were a child. And their experiences, their happiness, disappointments, and everything. And even though we think that we have dealt with these things, and some people have, there are a lot of people that haven't. And they carry this stuff like garbage in their head. And over time, you find that it kind of influences how we live our lives, what we do, how we react, and everything like this. So when I work in hypnosis, what we're doing is we're going deep into that subconscious mind, and we're working on the stuff that we've collected and things that we need to maybe get over, like anxieties, phobias, depression, and the addiction of smoking and eating healthy. We got to manage how our cravings are and our moderation in eating. And we all do that on a lower level, way down in your subconscious mind. Because what we have a lot of times is we come up and we face against this wall. And it's a wall where our ego goes, well, I don't really know if I want to go there, I don't know if I want to face this stuff. And a lot of people get that when they go into therapy also, where they hit this wall and just can't talk about certain things. So what hypnosis is it's kind of like telling your ego to go take a nap, while your subconscious mind is very alert. And then you can work with the subconscious mind on a very deep level that will influence changes in your life for the positive. So it's kind of like peeling an onion. You got to get down to the different levels and everything, which the ego a lot of times won't allow you to do it.
Awesome. Yeah. And I definitely remember from the experience that we had together is the way I can best describe it is it was a state of very deep meditation, but it was also having like a guide there with you. So as I was in this deep state of meditation, you were there talking me through what we were working on, and it was interesting to me just kind of see what came up. And I've noticed in other times in deep meditation where I'll have these almost random thoughts. And as you said, sometimes there are traumas. Sometimes it was, oh, that time 10 years ago when this person yelled at me, or I was scared of this. And sometimes they kind of pop up in these deep states of meditation and in the hypnosis. And I've always found it to be very interesting. That's kind of like, whoa, where did that come from? Because it seems so random. But then, as
Right.
you said, once we get into this deep subconscious state, we're realizing how much garbage we carry along with us. And I think that's what is very powerful about the hypnosis and about meditation and mindfulness work in general. But with that, again, hypnosis has been very interesting to me. And I think a lot of people have misconceptions about what hypnosis is. Because my first introduction to hypnosis was at the high school when we had a hypnotist come, and it was more of like a stage show where I was on stage. I was flapping my arms around. We're on a bus that's 100 degrees, and we all start sweating. So, what do you tell people who think that that's what hypnotherapy is? What are the
Well, if that's what I did, I'd have a lot of fun in my office, but at your expense. But that's not what I do. When you work with hypnosis in an office setting, it's totally different than the Las Vegas stage or the high school stage, because that's done on purpose. And this is a whole different direction, a whole different level of work with hypnosis. So it's not really here for the fun of it. It's here for the deep, deep work. They both use some of the same relaxation techniques, that I could use, and except they're looking for vulnerability of people that will jump up and down and quack like ducks and all of this stuff. In my office situation, I won't do that. And actually, in hypnosis, you'll never do anything that you wouldn't normally do. Now, people sitting in an audience watching a show will hear my statement and go, "What in the world? I just jumped up and down like a duck."
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I remember when I came out of the hypnosis on the stage, I forget, I wish I could remember the example of what the guy said to do, but it kind of struck me and kind of like in an instant, I was like, wait, I don't want to do that. And then that's kind of all of a sudden I came out of it. So exactly as you just said, it was once he said something that I wasn't willing to do, I snapped right out of it because I
Right.
stopped being open to the experience.
Right. So I can't, I can't send you down to the bank and withdraw money or any of that stuff, um, so actually, the client that comes to me is actually in charge of the appointment, of actually the session. And people are pretty amazed at that because they think, oh, the hypnotist, he's going to make me do things. He's going to, play with my mind and all this stuff. But again, we go back to the whole fact that you would never do anything that you wouldn't want to do. And when you come to a session, we go over the intentions that you have and your goals that you have. And that's what we work with, are your goals, your intentions. And so when I bring you down into hypnosis, into that relaxation state, I tell you that, we're going to work on the stuff that you have chosen to work on, the stuff that you want to change. So there's not anything that I'm doing. It's what you really want to do. And that helps people to, give up the control, that I'm not going to get hypnotized. I'm not going to allow this guy to do this or whatever like this, because it's really not for me, it's for you. And that really relaxes people because they know that they're doing all the work for their own, benefit and everything.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that makes sense because, I mean, you think of just about anything that if you're open to the experience, you're going to get a lot more out of it than if you're resisting it the whole way. And so what do you say to people that say, I can't be hypnotized?
I smile. That's the first thing I do. I smile, and then I go, well, a lot of people tell me that. A lot of people go under hypnosis. But I also tell them, we'll work at that because I've had a lot of people who said, it's amazing. It's mostly men that do that. There's a few women that do that, but it's mostly men. Oh, you're not going to be able to do this to me. Boom, they go out so fast sometimes. And I just like smirk in the background, because, it's a challenge to them. But if people do have a hard time allowing themselves to relax enough to go under hypnosis, then we'll take it in stages where I will work with them in trust and relaxation and all that stuff, and re-emphasize the whole fact that you're not here for me. You're here to work on all the fabulous stuff that you want to change in your life. And usually after we go through this and a few techniques and me saying that and people coming to the realization, okay, yeah, I am doing it for myself and for the stuff I really do want to change, they will relax and they will allow themselves to go under.
Awesome. Yeah, and one thing that I've noticed too in my own experiences, I was always somebody who wanted to be in control at all times. What that really came down to was just a fear of not being in control. And I think that's something that I found with the meditation and with the hypnosis and things like that, is just learning to let go, because many of us, again, myself included, are very much control freaks at times, where obviously, as I said, I've gotten better, but there's still instances where I find myself not wanting to let go of that control. So I can definitely see people who are very much in that mindset quite often, that can be a big challenge for them. So with that, do you find that those clients end up getting the most out of it? Like which type of clients do you think can benefit the most from your practice? The people that can't give up control, the people that have set issues, or what's a typical client that you say can benefit the most?
Well, I do a lot of work with trauma victims and assault victims. And when we were talking about not wanting to give up control, that makes me want to ask more about their life also. And you may find certain things in their past which causes fear to where they don't want to give up control. And then that will be added into our focus of what we're going to work on. So they benefit greatly from being able to release all that fear and all that, trauma that they've carried around. I've had people that have carried around trauma for 30, 40 years that come to me, and the whole weight is just lifted off their shoulders because they're finally able to get rid of that. And so if I was to really choose who benefits the most, I would say trauma victims, people with depression and anxiety are some of the people that benefit the most, because it changes their lives. And you see them walk out of my office, and you see them maybe a month later and they're going, wow. I just had a client that called me in a rush on Saturday night and said, can I have an appointment tomorrow? Her anxiety levels were just through the roof and everything. I said, sure, come on in. Monday, she texts me and she says, I feel the best about myself and about everything that I have in a long, long time. And it just felt really fabulous to know that we did that for her.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can definitely say, I mean, with my own work of working with people and helping them with their health and mindsets and just trying to optimize whatever they want to do, whatever their purpose is, whatever their goals are, it's always very fulfilling to me to see the change in people and to see that those light bulbs go off in their head, and to see the oh my God moments, the aha moments, the thank you so much moments. So for you, what would you say is the most fulfilling part of your work?
Probably hearing back from my clients to say how much it's changed their lives. That is really the most fulfilling. And this is wonderful. I mean, I see people, in life, I hear people, I see people that just are miserable. They're just hating their life, hating the things that are going on. And I tell them, if you would come to hypnosis or what you do or all the other modalities out there, you might have just this big, gigantic revelation
Mm.
and change your life. But there are also people that go, oh, no, stuff doesn't work and all this stuff. And I just want to go, oh my gosh, just come and try it, because I see so many people just changing their lives, using the stuff that we do.
Definitely, yeah. And I think one thing that I've found to be very interesting since beginning the whole health connections is having different practitioners that I partner with and having acupuncturists, massage therapists, Reiki practitioners, hypnotherapists. The whole integrated medicine spectrum is that some people may be very open to one, but very resistant to another. And it's always interesting to me where massage seems to be the most open because I think it feels nice. It's very tangible. But I think when people try the things like the hypnotherapy, the acupuncture, the Reiki, energy healing, things that aren't as mainstream per se, I think that they really rise. Sometimes those are the ones that help the most because those are the ones that, because they're resisting, they tend to need the most. And I found that to be very interesting just throughout this journey of working with all the practitioners and trying everything myself, is just noticing how at the end of the day, the modalities are all aiming to bring balance back into our bodies. They're all aiming to bring health and happiness and vitality. But it's just the different modality, and different modalities work for different people. And that's where I tell people, look, there may not be one answer. Maybe you should try two of them. Maybe it's one of them. Maybe it's three of them. But you're never really going to know until you try. And I think it's very interesting to me, just as I said, the resistance that comes up to certain modalities. And hypnotherapy, I think, is one of the modalities that I've encountered resistance is just because people understand it. So I'm hoping that after this conversation today, people will be understanding more of what it is and how it works, and how it's not putting people on stage and having them dance like a monkey.
Nope.
So
But
what else in terms of hypnosis do you think is people should know about?
people should know about. Well, for one thing, hypnosis is very safe.
Mm.
I've had some people go, oh, don't look at him. He could put this under hypnosis or something. Or I have people go, I think he's putting me under hypnosis just by talking to me. And I'm going, well, I'm not. But people do worry about the fact, is this safe? Well, for one, you'll never get stuck in hypnosis. Just like when you were at that hypnosis on the stage, and he said something that you would not want to do. You came out of it. Now, if I stopped talking for 3 to 5 minutes, you'd come out of it on your own. You'll never get stuck in hypnosis. Hypnosis, doesn't hurt. There's no right or wrong to how you do hypnosis, meaning for the client. And I tell the client, I said, the most important job for you is just to relax. Sit in my chair and just think of it as a moment in time where you have the most relaxation you're going to have in a long time. And sure enough, when they come out, they just go, gosh, that's the most relaxed I've been in a long time. And 1 hour of hypnosis is like having 5 hours of deep sleep.
Wow.
And I have clients that just go, I don't want to get out of your chair. And just go, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm not rushing you. And they just want to stay there. They just want to relax. And I always kid that maybe I should just rent out the chair, and do some relaxation for them rather than all the other stuff. But that's the biggest thing. Not to worry about hypnosis. It's very safe. It's very calming. It's very relaxing. And man, it can change your life.
Definitely, yeah. And I think, I mean, the biggest thing that you just said there for me was the 1 hour of hypnosis is equal to 5 hours of deep sleep. And we live in such a sleep-deprived country right now, and probably world as well, that, I mean, if you're going to try anything to get some more rest, I mean, hypnosis, that might be a good way to just kind of get you down a path of getting back into balance, as we talked about earlier, as most of us are undersleeping, overworked, and overcaffeinated. So it sounds like hypnosis could be a good way to work with that.
When it comes to sleep, what I do when I put it into hypnosis is I tell you that as soon as it's bedtime, you're going to shut off all your thoughts about work or life, and they'll be there tomorrow, So don't worry about them disappearing. You're still going to get stuff done. But while you are in bed, while you're sleeping, we're going to shut them off and allow them to be put to the side. And then I say, as soon as your head touches the pillow, any stress is going to go away and you're going to go right to sleep.
And so I guess my last question for you is, what would you recommend people do on a daily basis in order to improve their lives or lower their stress or just achieve a better sense of balance? What's something that you do every day that helps you thrive as a human being?
Well, what I always say is that you have to find 5 or 10 minutes in your day to just stop, to just kind of quiet down, even if you have to lock yourself in the bathroom, from your family or whatever. You have to decompress from all that stuff that's been bombarded on you all day long. Shut your eyes, just take a few deep breaths. So you have to always find every day a moment to decompress and really kind of realize and come to terms with who you really are. Because, people believe certain things they've been told, and they collect those ideas of who they are and who they aren't and all this stuff throughout their lives. And in hypnosis, I also tell people that anything that's ever been said about you that's false will no longer have power over you and will be left in the past. Because you got to break that down, because, we've been told, well, you're not good at doing this, or you're not good at doing that. Well, how do they know? This is just their opinion. And you're going through your life and you're evolving constantly. You're collecting new skills every day, new ideas every day and everything. So beyond just calming down and rebalancing, I would always tell people, try to find out who you really are. Make a list of all the positives of who you are and all the negative stuff that, maybe you want to get rid of, or maybe just it's not true. And you do all that work and life starts looking a little bit better.
Absolutely. And for me too, I love everything you said there. What I've really begun to appreciate is just the journey itself, and appreciating the ups and downs, knowing that we're not always going to be perfect at everything we do. We're not going to be right all the time. We're going to make mistakes. But then when the so-called mistakes happen or the downs happen, it makes you really appreciate the ups, and it makes you really appreciate how good life really is and how good it can be, and realizing that there's no destination, because we always tend to get stuck in these goal-oriented or these destination-oriented endpoints, and we think, when I get here, I'll be happy. I'll be happy when I make this. I'll be happy when I get there. And I think that's a very dangerous trap that a lot of us fall into. And for me, what I'm really just trying to work on is just appreciating every moment, appreciating every day, and just learning as I go, and realizing that there is no destination, and the journey is the fun part.
And the other thing that I tell people is, if you start getting stuck in the past and start getting angry or frustrated or whatever about stuff in your past, what I do every day when I find that I do that, I tell myself out loud 3 times, live in the present, live in the present, live in the present. And I refocus myself to what's right in front of me and what I'm going to do the next minute, the next hour, whatever, like this. Because the past is the past, and we can't really change the past any longer. But the thing of it is when we make mistakes, we shouldn't kick ourselves as much either, because we need to realize that that's how we learn.
Definitely.
Is by making mistakes. And the other thing that I always want to tell people is, you're not just thrown here just because your parents had 5 minutes or 10 minutes of, whatever they're doing. You're not just thrown here, You're actually on a journey. And we all need to see that we're on a journey. We're on a learning experience. And everything that happens, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether you've made a mistake, or whether you've done something fabulous or whatever, that's a piece of who you truly are and who your life is and everything. And feel free to get rid of some of the stuff that just doesn't fit with you anymore.
Absolutely. And I think it's been, as I said, incredible to me to just watch how we beat ourselves up once you become aware of our thoughts, and our thoughts really do shape our reality. So how we talk to ourselves is really just ultimately what we're going to see in the world. Because if we tell ourselves, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, or whatever, we're going to end up seeing ourselves making mistakes. But if we change the frame of that and say, oh, that was a mistake, what did I learn from that? And it's a very subtle but very powerful mindset shift that we can all do, is giving ourselves a little bit more slack, because we tend to beat ourselves up for the littlest things, thinking, oh, that person must think I'm dumb, I let them down, or I let myself down. But as soon as we flip the script, our whole lives begin to change because we're thinking in the positive. And I think that positivity as a superpower is very underrated, that we can completely change everything by shifting our mindset into a positive way of thinking.
And if somebody's ever said anything negative to you, in general, take a pause. Take kind of look at that person and see, well, why would that person want to say that?
Hmm.
And you could find out that, well, they really didn't say it because I truly am a bad person or I truly am stupid. It could be that they have anger issues or they grew up in a household that wasn't loving, so they're attacking you, everything like this. You hear a lot about teenage suicides and stuff like this. And I just want to go, just because they say that doesn't mean that that's who you truly are. And so that's how we need to work together to find out who we truly are. And then those other people aren't going to have that much influence over you once you know who you truly are. And I just read something just this morning that said that the more love you give a baby, the more their brain expands and their experiences and everything expand quicker. And so it starts at birth. And try to give love to everybody. Try to appreciate everybody. And we get so caught up in our everyday lives that we forget to give to the people that are around us, or even strangers. You go, hey, that looks good. Hey, whatever. Just one little sentence could change somebody's life.
Absolutely. And I think that's very important. Something I try to become conscious of is always putting my best self forward in the terms of always trying to be appreciative, always trying to give compliments, always trying to make someone's day just a little bit better. Sometimes it's just a smile. Sometimes it's just a wave. Sometimes it's just acknowledging someone's presence. And then, as you said, giving a compliment, saying, oh, hey, nice shirt. Sometimes maybe that person just got that shirt and they're really excited about it. And they've just been itching for someone to make a comment about it. And now they get the satisfaction of being able to smile and talk about it.
Right?
So, as you said, we don't really know what people are going through. So, just by spreading a little bit of positivity here, a little bit of positivity there, showing a little bit of kindness can truly go a long way.
And don't believe everybody's negativity right off the bat. You gotta weigh it. And the other thing is, don't believe everything you see on TV or everything you see on social media either.
Definitely.
You have to weigh that, and sometimes you actually have to shut it off.
Yeah. I actually personally have stopped watching much of the news,
Mhm.
as it is what I found to just be negative conditioning. It's just constant bad stories and traumas, and starts to whenever I watch the news, I kind of walk away feeling, ugh.
I record the news on my DVR so I can fast forward it and use the mute button.
That's a great idea. Well, Cliff, thank you so much for joining us today. And again, everyone, this was Cliff Aguirre of Mind Balance Hypnosis. So if you want to book a session with Cliff, if you're in the Boston area or you plan on coming to the Boston area, he is south of Boston in Norwell. You can visit him at cliffaguirre.com as well as mindbalancedhypnosis.com. And Cliff, thank you again, and we look forward to chatting with you soon.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. So that was Cliff Aguirre of Mind Balance Hypnosis. So you can reach him once again at cliffaguirre.com. That's CliffAguirre.com, as well as mindbalancehypnosis.com. So if you like what you heard, please send him a message. Send me a message. We'd be more than happy to get you in to do your first or second or third hypnotherapy session with Cliff. Again, he's located in Norwell, Massachusetts. And if you have any questions regarding hypnotherapy, hypnosis, or anything that Cliff does, please give us a message, and we'll be more than happy to answer that for you. Thanks for listening.